Hello YouTube, I'm Mitch Steed and I am a photographer. Today we're going to be looking at self-portraiture. I gave myself the assignment of doing a self-portrait series to really stretch my ability with my new lights and also my editing techniques. I am somebody who's really comfortable with black and white, and I actually surprised myself during this process that I ended up with a color image. So this is going to be a speed run from the programs I used in order to get my final result. So I start off with Capture One, then into Lightroom, then into Photoshop. It is not an extensive look at a tutorial on how to edit. I'll do one of those separately because that'll have to have its own dedicated video. This is just a quick workflow show, as well as a little bit of discussion around what I discovered while I was shooting. So stick around and let's see the process. Okay, so we're going to do a quick speed run of the edit of my image, but this here is just a quick overview of some of my recent edits. As you can see, these more recent three up here look a little bit more refined and polished than this initial image down here. This is my first photo that I took with my studio lights, and these are my most recent with my studio lights. So you can see I've definitely got a better handle on what I'm doing. So let's work with this portrait here. We're just going to do a quick speed run of my workflow, and we start off in Capture One. So here we are in Capture One. I'm going to start off and just show you how it began. So I started off with a 35mm lens, which showed me that it was the wrong lens for this job. I wanted full separation and compression from the background, but here it would feature too much of it. So I swapped over to my 85mm, which gave me this much better look that I was after. From here, you can see this looks like I've been retouched. I have. What you will learn about Capture One is that you can actually do presets for your shoot or any treatment, pre-treatment to your image before the shoot, and then every shot afterwards will have that applied, so you can get an idea of what the end result's going to look like. This day, I didn't have the best skin. I had some scratches and abrasions on my forehead and on my eye. I hit myself with a stick, or like a branch, sorry, on the orchard that I work on. So my skin got kind of aggravated. And then here I stupidly rushed shaving with a blunt razor. So I got razor burn. So that's that just there. So I'm not going to show the full image, but that's what that looks like. You'll also notice that the image looks a little bit more crisp and a little bit more sharp. And that's because I bumped the clarity of this image as well. So this here is the overall look that I was enjoying. I was prioritizing black and white because I like that, and that's where I was going to go for the shoot. But you'll see eventually I actually caved in and worked with my fear, which is color. I'm not really good with color, so this is my first kind of attempt. Here was a good lesson. Always charge your lights. I forgot to charge my background light, and it died on me when I did my shot. The overall exposure looks really nice, but it just doesn't have that separation or dramatic pop of white, which I was after. My outfit for the next one, it didn't really work for me, so it was a bit lumpy and distracting, and I just thought it needed a change, so I swapped to a more sharper blazer, which I felt looked much smarter. In here, I also learned that with posing, when I moved my face down a little bit, I lost the catch light in my eye. And I also looked a little bit too serious. I guess I wasn't comfortable looking like that because I'm not really a serious person. And then here, this looks a little bit more like me. I'm much more of a smiley, happy person, and this pops my eyes, which look welcoming because I have the catch lights there. From here, I was like, you know what? I'm feeling it, but I'm not. So let's play around and do silly poses that I would normally do for a photo. And this is this. It's a happy medium. It's showing my quirky personality, but I'm also looking a little bit serious. I've got these really cool bright contrast glasses against this bright contrast blazer, and I think it looks really cool. But I'm looking flat in the color of my eyes, so I need to bring back a little bit more realism and, if anything, a little bit more exaggeration. So I thought, first of all, let's jump into Lightroom and do some quick editing. Which is like removing these dust kind of particles and seeing what else I could potentially push in the raw image, and then jump into Photoshop. Immediately, you can see here that the texture has completely changed as well as this the saturation. So Lightroom will always prioritize the texture of an image and detailing, and Capture One definitely has a prioritization on the saturation. That's at least what I found from the most recent shoots I've been doing. So from here, I'm like, you know what? I don't like this blue anymore. It's not looking the best. So I played around in the color mixer, and I used the little dragging tool, and I dragged it in either direction, and I got this really cool kind of emerald green, which is very on trend with what's it called? Wicked. So anyway, then here my eyes are still looking flat, and I couldn't do a good enough mask in Lightroom to create this pop that I was after. So I knew Photoshop could push it far. So I jumped in, and you can see here, I've now pushed my eyes, and they're now matching this color. The color is also matured, so it doesn't look so piecey on here. It looks a bit piecey around here, and it doesn't look like it was all being captured. Whereas here, everything's matching. It looks like the fabric is actually this color. So I did a little bit of mask refinement there. I've tidied up the shadows. We have a cleaner line there, and I've tidied up the hair here, which is not so wiry and going everywhere. From here, I then decided it needed a background, so I chose the black because I felt like it made it pop. So it gives it that full, nice gallery look. Okay, so that's just a quick speed run of what I did. I'm going to do a full video on showing you each step that I did with the final editing of that image. So as you can see, you can end up in quite a different place than where you planned. I initially thought I was going to have a black and white image that was serious and highly contrasted, whereas instead I got a kind of fun, pop-colored image that had high saturation. So I'm very proud of where I ended up, and I think it's a really important lesson. Don't box yourself into one way of thinking. Allow yourself to enjoy the process and just grow as it goes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you liked what you saw today, please like and subscribe. Sorry about my dogs. And stick around for the next tutorial, which will be an in-depth version on how to edit your photos. See you later.